Thank you for taking the time.
Yes, sir.
And you're 23 years old. You're a superstar. You're one of the faces of the NBA. What has the last 10 or 11 days been like for you? And how are you doing?
Me personally, I feel mentally good that I haven't.
You know who been to the barbershop and who hasn't?
Many years since I
That's for
really
sure.
got drafted to the league.
So, in particular, if you don't mind getting into detail, like what were you doing these last 10 days and what did it teach you about yourself?
Learning, I can open up. I can, express my feelings, and that it's, okay to be able to express your feelings. So I was constantly, talking to therapists. I've been doing, Reiki treatment, doing anxiety breathing, different stuff to, help me manage that and, release, all that stuff from my body.
How stressful can it be being Ja Morant?
Very. And I feel like, I didn't pay enough attention to that, when it got rough, and, I pretty much just let it all build up. And that's why I felt like, I needed, my time away to, better myself and, become a more healthy Ja.
All right, this is a part that a lot of people are gonna not fuck with, but you gotta give it up to him, bro. Like, it's gonna be hard to be Ja, bro. It's gonna be hard to be 23 years old and be one of the future faces of the NBA. That's not easy for anybody to do. I have pressure just sitting in front of this camera right now, putting this on YouTube for like maybe 300 people to probably see, potentially more if it really does well. It's all about perspective. I know when you really sit here like, oh, y'all are blessed to be in this position, you also got to think about how much pressure that's really going to put on your mental. Are you honestly ready or able to handle all of that? It's not like Ja was a 5-star recruit coming out. He had to build and claw his way up here. So it's not like he was necessarily preparing to be this. He probably dreamed of it, but I don't think he really ever thought that this was destined to happen. So he's rolling with the punches.
But when did you say, I'm gonna do this and it's necessary?
After I made a, terrible mistake, being inside a club and, went live, I put myself in, a bad position.
This was a series of bad decisions and putting yourself in bad spots, money.
Ja, when did you realize I need to get some counseling?
It was that morning, when I woke up and, seeing my, name on all over the media for, bad reasons, the wrong reasons, which I didn't, wanted to see. And, I made a call, said, I need to get away and, I need to, find myself again. And, that's when I entered the counseling program, and, I've been there for a couple weeks now.
Self-realization is the wildest thing. A lot of times when you're doing things that are wrong, you can't see it because you think you're just being you. And people that are making comments about you don't know who you are. They don't know the real you. When you are in a spot that very few people in this world will ever be in, it's very hard to understand who to listen to. Was he acting a fool? Absolutely. But I can understand why he wouldn't see it that way. And yeah, 10 days, 2 weeks, whatever you want to say, in counseling doesn't seem like a lot, but I've been on a 5-day retreat that made me come out like, damn, I feel like a brand new person. I got a whole different outlook on life being around these people I never thought I would spend 5 straight days with. It can happen.
When you get drafted, you go from being a member of the crew, a member of the family, to, in a lot of ways, these are your staff and employees. And you're trying to put everybody in position to be successful because they help you become who you are. How has it been for you to make tough decisions about who you rolling with as it relates to your inner circle?
It's definitely has been tough because, I'm big on loyalty, but, I have, like I said, have to, be there for myself. I have to, find out, who's really for me and who's going to help me, be in good positions at all times. And, that's the decisions I had to make, decisions, I felt good about and very comfortable about that, I'm going to be in a positive, light now with everything, that I've made, everything that I've learned in my 2 weeks.
you talked about going live, but it's also
fuck was that wild ass
Silver
cut, bro? Who
that
cut
you
that
met
shit?
with him today, and he suspended you for 8 games.
Y'all better get Dev
Kind
back.
of what you mentioned to the league. What was that meeting like?
It was good.
Devin
Pretty
would
much,
never
you know,
let that
open
cut
discussion. Obviously, you know, he said, you know, things, you know, I need to, you know, be better at, but, you know, more of just, you know, showing his support towards me. I also, you know, sent my apologies, you know, to everybody, you know, the league, you know, myself, my teammates, my family for, you know, putting that
As you should have.
negativity towards, you know, all of us with a, you know, bad decision.
We're gonna get to his family in a second.
What were you thinking and feeling at that moment when you decided to go live? Did you realize that you was going live?
Nigga,
Did
is
you
you
think
late and
that
I'm
you were
Ja
just
Morant.
recording?
Nobody about to check
What
me.
was
That's
your
what he
state of
thinking.
mind at that point?
Pretty much just trying to be free. You know, I used that as an escape, which I shouldn't have. And I feel like
Exactly. My name is Ja Morant and can't none of y'all check me.
that's the reason, you know, I made many, you know, bad decisions, you know, in my past, which doesn't, you know, pretty much describes me, doesn't describe Ja as a person. You know, I'm a totally different person, you know.
That describes everything that you've shown us as Ja Morant. That can't nobody check you with. Ja Morant's gonna be. The difference is when Ja first came in the league, just move with a little bit more order in his life. He seemed like it was family, basketball, and that was it. And granted, you know, like I said, you grow. You got a lot more money now. You're much older. You're clouded up. You got your own Nike signature shoe, and you got a chain made out of the logo.
You know, than what's been shown, you know, in the media.
Shorty lit. Like.
So that's my job now. That's why I took that time away.
Absolutely. You were holding a gun. And we both know how dangerous that can be.
Jalen Rose will never leave that Beijing alone.
Well, the gun wasn't mine.
I'm about to be with him.
It's not who I am. I don't condone any type of violence, but I take, you know, full responsibility, you know, for my actions.
All right, Cat. Everything that Ja has shown us in the last few years has shown us that you absolutely condone violence. And here is where the interview starts to take a turn, in my opinion. Let's keep it rolling.
You know, bad mistake. And I can see the image, you know, that I painted, you know, over myself, you know, in the future. I'm going to show everybody who Ja really is, you know, what I'm about, and you know, change this narrative.
And you know how this works. So now when the IG live video happens and the public sees you with the gun, now they go back and dig up everything that they feel like has been attached to your name over the last couple of years. And
I love how Jalen Rose is steering the conversation. However, that's, again, cap. It's not true. Ja did this in the midst of a media storm where all of these stories were already in circulation because of things that he had already done that caused people to bring. If you really want to be honest, it's been so consistent that people haven't had the chance to let certain things go because he continues to stack up incidents on top of one another. It's a downward spiral, and we hate to see it.
it was important for me to give you the opportunity to address it, because at 23 years of age, you don't want to be talking about missteps your whole life. There was the incident allegedly after the Pacers game. Somebody was allegedly pointing a red dot at some of their personnel. Can you shed light on what happened after that game?
Majority of the things, you know, that's happened in the past, obviously, you know, I kind of put myself into by even being there. But all the incidents you've seen recently,
I don't know about the investigations, but I wouldn't have said that.
most of them is a line, you know. I can't speak too much, you know, on those situations because all of them are sealed, and I really can't wait to be able to, you know, find.
You mean sealed? Like, investigations are done, probably settled out.
Really tell the truth, but you know what I can say is, you know, like I said before, you know, none of those are my character, and I'm a big family guy. I always care for my family, so it was just me, you know, checking on my family's safety. Once my family, you know, was safe, I left the scene.
Absolutely. And another incident, and by the way, I love your family dynamic. I love seeing you and your father hug and embrace. Your mom is awesome. I love seeing you with your daughter. Like, you're one of the shining stars that bring us into his living room. And another incident that allegedly happened at the mall with your mom.
Jalen Rose, I love you for this. Again, steering the conversation, bringing it back. He's a family man. Jalen Rose might need to be a lawyer after this.
Was a circumstance that people now trying to dig into the story of what took place. What can you say about what happened with that situation?
Pretty much the same thing. You know, I got a call. I went to, you know, make sure my mom was safe. That's my lifeline. You know, that's who birthed me. So I went to make sure she was safe. You know, once I realized that, you know, I left the scene again. It's another thing, you know, I just can't wait to be able to, you know, finally tell the truth on.
So the story goes that there was some sort of discrepancy in the mall between Ja Morant's mother and somebody who worked at the mall. Through some exchange, Ja was called. Ja allegedly showed up with a group of people. Allegedly, a gun may have been brandished. Not 100% sure. Like you said, when the truth comes out, the truth comes out. However, this is where we have to go back to being a family man and who can this man trust and who can he listen to. Something happens to my mom, I'm there. I understand. I get it. I get it. If anything would have happened to my mom, I'm on the scene as fast as I can with whatever I can grab. Unfortunately, I'm not Ja Morant, so he can't make that decision. Me making that decision might seem a little bit more reasonable. But when you're worth about $200 million, you have to be able to, you should have connections that can handle all of that legally.
And I'm a mama's boy. I lost my mom a couple of years ago, so I understand that when you get that call, you want to be there front and center. And then there's a situation that potentially happened with your sister. Can you shed some light into what took place in that scenario?
Similar situation, you know, that's my baby sister. You know, I received a call and, you know, was checking on her safety. Another situation where, you know, once I found out she was safe, you know, I left the scene. Obviously, I realized
Putting yourself right back in the same damn place. Right on the scene again, John. Now this situation, allegedly, volleyball game, his little sister's in high school. Allegedly words between her and another person, another young girl. The story that I saw goes that his mother is the person that again was the instigator or the person that added the fuel to the fire and put the battery in Ja's back. Right now, maybe Ja's family may not be leading him in the right direction right now. All of these are alleged, so we'll see what happens when the truth actually comes out.
Ja showed up, and, you know, that's all everybody, you know, really needed to, you know, paint whatever, you know, picture they want.
Yeah, nigga, you showed up. Why? You are worth 200 mil. Stop showing up.
And I realize now, you know, that's a problem. And, you know, I put myself in, you know, those situations.
And the crazy thing about being a superstar like yourself in this era, everybody has a phone, which means everybody has a camera, which means everybody has an opinion. And so now these circumstances that allegedly took place with the 17-year-old when you guys are playing basketball or whatever, I just want to give you a chance to address
Again, we all been here, bruh. Y'all are disrespectful as hell. I was disrespectful, but these new kids right now are a different level of disrespectful. On top of that, they all think that they hoop like Curry. So now you messing up us possibly staying on for multiple games, because if I'm here to hoop, I want to hoop for multiple. I work all week.
I came here because my girl told me about the park. I'm just trying to play basketball on a fucking Saturday. You coming at me with that negativity? I worked all week.
So I want to hoop at least 3 games in a row. I'm trying to stay on. Sometimes I be wanting to drag y'all a little, you know what I mean? Like,
everything that's been out there.
It's not much I can say, you know, because it's sealed, but pretty much everything, you know, you see on the social media, you know, that's going on with that is a lie. And another thing, you know, I can't wait to, you know, finally, you know, say my side and, you know, actually tell the truth of, you know, what's going on.
Now, this is the first thing that we actually heard him say that's not true. Do with that information what you will. I'm going to draw my own opinion about that.
Do you take pride in being a role model?
I realize, you know, I have a lot of kids, you know, who look up to me, even, you know, probably some adults, you know, a lot of fans, and I realize, you know, my past mistakes.
Jalen Rose,
isn't
man.
being, you know, a good role model. So, you know, me
Keeping my boy afloat.
now
What you
is,
talking
you know,
about?
change, put a, you know, bright light on, you know, the younger future coming up to, you know, show them, you know, what not to do and, you know, what to do. So just got to be better in that area, you know, be more responsible, be smarter, and, you know, make better decisions.
What has it been like for you to be away from the game that you love? Like, we miss watching you play, Ja. And I know you
been
miss
10
being
days.
out there. Like, what has it been like for you learning about
College.
yourself? What has it been like being away from your teammates and being away from the game that you love?
It's been tough. It's been tough. But, you know, the support of, you know, my teammates, my coaches, you know, the whole Grizzly organization, you know, all them, you know, being behind me. And obviously, you know, I wish I was out there on the floor with them, you know.
At age 23, you are top 10, possibly top 5, arguably top 5 in your position with no signs of slowing down. Yeah, your team is going to be very concerned to make sure they put all efforts into you, Ja. But please make sure you understand they're putting this in your talent and in your marketability, not into you as a person. It can't be easy being Ja Morant, bro.
But I had to, you know, be there for myself. So me taking this time away to, you know, learn how to be there for myself and, you know, learn how to be a, you know, better job with, you know, managing my stress would not only make me a better job, but make us, you know, better as a team and, you know, as an organization with, you know, how I'm coming in now.
One of the things that people underestimate is that, yeah, you're successful. Yes, you're a great family man. Yes, you're great at basketball. But we get stressed out too. So can you talk to people who are dealing with stress, who are dealing with anxiety, dealing with pain? What has it been like for you to discover?
Jalen Rose is, I've been sitting here telling y'all about the parallels between a common life, everyday life, and the life of a Ja Morant, and how those two can be compared in a debative sense. But what you see how Jalen Rose just flipped that, and he turned it into something that's completely positive, like okay, Ja, well, can you help other people dealing with the same things that you're dealing with? This is greatness right here in terms of steering the direction of an interview, of a scripted interview. This is everything that you want to see in a scripted interview.
How to manage it and give them some
It is
advice on
great,
how they
bro.
can manage it in their own lives.
I feel like you're just starting off by saying talk to somebody. It doesn't make you soft. It doesn't make you weak to, you know, express your feelings to somebody. And I feel like that's what I had to learn, you know.
Typical.
I always was the type to, you know, keep everything in and bottle it up.
We're
What's
men.
going on in
All
my
of us
life.
do
And
that.
I feel like as a pro, some people don't realize that it's a lot on our plate. I'm 23. I'm starting at a young age. Came in young, turned into a provider. I turned into a father, pretty much the breadwinner, you know, of my family. You know, it's a lot on my plate outside of, you know, day-to-day life. And I learned that, you know, my time away, that, you know, it's okay to, you know, express your feelings and, you know, talk to somebody. And I encourage, you know, everybody who's going through, you know, what I'm going through, who's dealing with stress, anxiety, to, you know, go talk to somebody.
What has it been like for you to see
I
people
deal with stress and
criticize your
anxiety, so
inner
I
circle
show
and talk about
strap in the
who
club.
you should be
Nigga.
hanging with, why you should be hanging with them, and or what have you learned about how you should move with your team?
Honestly, you know, I feel like we put ourselves in, you know, that situation with, you know, our past mistakes. And now it's only right that, you know, we focus in and lock in on, you know, being smarter and more responsible.
This is Memphis. And the whole team is young. I know Ja's not the only person that's been wild. And I'm not going to say nobody else's name. I don't know anything. Literally, I don't know shit about nothing. Here's the time again where you need to be taking accountability and only speak on yourself. I don't understand the speaking as a team right here when the whole interview you've been putting yourself on the scene of these situations. Somewhat taking accountability, but at the same time not fully taking accountability, because I'm sure there's legal processes behind it. But now is the time where I would think that a leader would really dig into, I have to set an example and I need to be better and I need to right the wrongs of the past that I made and setting a bad example for my teammates and my peers.
We're holding each other accountable, for everything. I feel like in the past we didn't know what was at stake.
Steven
And now,
Adams held all y'all
finally me
accountable.
having
You
that
chose
time
to disregard him.
to realize
Allegedly.
everything, have that time alone.
I don't know that.
I realize that now. I realize, what I have to lose, and for us as a group, what we have to lose, and stand away from, all the bad decisions. When you see somebody about to make a bad decision, stop them.
And as hip hop turns 50, you embody it. The things you say, your swag, your flavor, your fashion. And what ends up happening is people judge everything that we do, including our handshakes. They're like, wait a minute, is Ja affiliated? Can you address some of those naysayers who are trying to portray you in that light?
Jalen Rose, man. They always say Jalen Rose was a good defender, and he's defending the shit out of Ja right now. Rap is the music, hip hop is the culture. Oftentimes, hip hop and gang culture are synonymous. And what Jalen Rose just did right there was separate the two and put Ja in that hip hop culture where he's still able to be himself, still able to be black, unapologetically black. No, hip hop doesn't automatically just mean black, but hip hop is of the black culture and is a huge representative of black culture. It's not the only representative of black culture, but black American culture, hip hop is very much regarded and revered as one of the highest forms and showing of who we are as true people. Jalen Rose himself being of the hip hop culture, being from Michigan, Detroit, I believe, he embodies that. He spoke before even agreeing to do this interview about how he once was Ja Morant. He was in this exact same spot, how he was making the exact same decisions, but the difference was he didn't have social media.
I am Ja Morant. You guys have got a chance to see me grow up for public consumption since 1991. I've been involved in drug raids. I've survived assassination attempts. I've been that undisciplined young person that was trying to figure out how to be famous, how to be successful, and how to change the dynamics of my family.
I love that Jalen Rose is really just steering this conversation to defend Ja Morant and not shoot at him the way somebody else may have if they were to be in this situation or if they were just talking about Ja.
I feel like, once again, my decisions, pretty much led to that. And now, with the, past decisions I made and, what's going on now,
this is the tone that he should have taken the entire interview.
I put myself in those situations. I'm not affiliated with any gang. Like I said before, I don't condone any type of violence.
Throwing up crib.
And it's just pretty much on me to, now, from now on,
Don't Memphis got a lot of folk? You know what? I ain't got nothing to do with that.
Be a better Ja and, stop that narrative.
What is this last year or so? Because
I know it's a lot of black and blue over there, though.
Organization is kind of trying to talk to you and steer you in the right direction.
A whole lot of that.
Your head coach.
Shout out to Memphis. First of all, I love y'all culture, bro. I grew up on 3-6 Mafia, Lil White, Playa Fly, Buck, and all of that.
What has this been like for your parents here recently, seeing you trending for the wrong reasons?
It's been tough. I know they raised me the right way. I know they, did everything, I asked of them and raised me and, my little sister pretty much the right way. And, for me to be in the news for the wrong reasons, I know it hurt them the core and it hurt me even more because I feel like, I let them down.
What was it like not knowing what your punishment from the league is going to be?
Obviously, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know, which route they was going to go.
I thought they was gonna hit him with the Gil 50 piece. I thought they was gonna give him the hibachi special, the 50 piece.
Focus at the end of the day was still, focusing on me,
Boy, I thought they was about to sizzle.
I felt like, my health was the most important thing. Obviously, I know I put myself in that situation. Still,
I
take
thought they was
responsibility
gonna
for
cook
that.
your ass, boy.
And I also put, my team, in a tough position, with me not being able to, be out there on the floor. I regret all that. I can't wait to be back out there on the floor now, knowing, what my punishment is. And when I get back out there, I'm going to be ready to go and ready, push for a ring.
And I know this is going to be tough to receive right now because you're in the storm, right? Because everybody we encounter either got out of a storm or in a storm or about to go through a storm. In a couple of weeks, now that you addressed this and you stood up the way you have in front of this camera, people are going to judge you by how you move forward now. And you get a chance to atone for the decisions that you made, the poor decisions that you made, that we all have made.
We don't got no choice. It's all we can do. This is exactly what you want to do when you have the money to be able, the money and the leverage to be able to do something like this and steer your own conversation. Ja, this is the way you should have been handling every single issue that you've been handling in these last few years. Going back to that hilarious tweet that we all looked at you a little sideways but kind of just let it fly because it was funny. This is the way you should be handling everything. You've got the leverage, you have the influence, and you got the bread to put whatever image you want to be out there. Whatever you do behind closed doors, let it be that behind closed doors. But in the public eye, stay out of Dodge.
And this ain't gonna
do
be
something like this.
Your legacy. I guarantee you it won't be your legacy. So what can we anticipate from you and the Grizzlies as it relates to this Western Conference?
A more locked in team, I can say number one. Obviously, starting with me, being more locked in.
Now with Dylan Brooks on the team.
Paying attention to detail. You're going to see a team that's going to come out and I feel like that's been our identity, this whole time. And just can't wait to be back to, be out there with them and go to battle with them. We know what our ultimate goal is, and that's to win a championship. And, we got to do that from, once the ball go in the air to the last buzzer sound.
I'm happy for you. Sky's the limit. Now that I'm getting a chance to look at you eye to eye, I don't see why y'all can't win the West.
That's the goal.
Let's get it.
That's the goal. Yes, sir.
Brother.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed.
Them niggas not gonna win the West. It's not happening. But again, Jalen Rose being able to leverage his influence, being able to leverage his position at ESPN to be able to shoot Ja this bail and defend a young black male who made a series of bad decisions. Didn't actually do anything super bad, but he made a series of bad decisions that could have been catastrophic. They weren't. And at the end of the day, I can't sit here and be mad at nepotism working for us. I'm always going to root for it. I love the fact that Jalen Rose was able to stand there and say, I am a black male who is successful, respected, and I've been in this young man's shoes, and I am not going to let him sit here and be assassinated by the rest of y'all. I'm going to jump in front of this, and I'm going to help him take every single bullet and redirect this train. I love that way more than the fact that half of this was cap as hell. But hey, it is what it is. Ja, you got a second chance, my brother. Good luck to you. We gonna see what you do, and we rooting for you. And finally start yamming that John on Bama's, boy. Come on, man. You actually gotta throw that thing. No. Whoa. Tunde, I'm out of here.
Chill.